Hey, George.
Hey, Nick.
Sorry to interrupt this episode of Reslayer's Take, but we have to tell the people about ButcherBox.
Oh, yeah. Listen, friends, we only do ads for sponsors we think are great, and ButcherBox is on our good list.
ButcherBox sent us each a customized box of high-quality meat, and they were so freaking good. It's so convenient having a box of incredible meat in your freezer without ever having to step foot in a grocery store.
And the greatest part? This antibiotic-free and humanely raised meat comes with plenty of curated tips and recipes. So whipping up awesome dinners is a cinch.
These prices are impossible to beat for the quality, and where the heck else can you get free protein for a whole dang year? Not the grocery store. So sign up at butcherbox.com/reslayer and get our special deal.
ButcherBox is offering our listeners a free for a year offer plus an additional $20 off. Choose chicken breast, salmon, or ground beef free in every order for a year. Sign up today at butcherbox.com/reslayer and use code RESLAYER to choose your free for a year offer, plus $20 off your first order.
Let's get grilling.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, George. Are you looking for more actual play podcasts? Well, there's never been a better time to jump on board with The Adventure Zone, the RPG podcast from the McElroy family. They're doing shorter seasons and campaigns now, so there are new stories more often, and it's easy to catch up if you come in late. Right now, Griffin McElroy is GMing a story for his brothers, Justin and Travis, and their dad, Clint. They're using D&D 5th edition, the same game system as the Reslayer's Take, so it should sound pretty familiar. It's called The Adventure Zone vs. Dracula. And yes, these guys are going to take down Dracula. Hopefully. Find out by subscribing to The Adventure Zone wherever you listen to podcasts, and tell them George sent you. Welcome to the Reslayer's Take. I'm George Primavera.
And I'm Nick Williams. In this podcast, George and I lead a group of players through an exciting improvised adventure in Exandria, the magical world of Critical Role.
We're playing Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, but you won't need to know the rules to follow along. All you need to know is that nothing the players do is scripted or planned, and their fates are determined by their own cleverness and the random chance of rolling a 20-sided die.
You can listen to new episodes of The Reslayer's Take every Monday, anywhere you stream podcasts.
Or if you want to listen to the podcast 2 weeks early and uninterrupted by ads, join Beacon at beacon.tv.
Last but certainly not least, if you're enjoying the story, please consider leaving a rating and review. Your feedback might inspire someone new to join this adventure.
Now, without further ado,
welcome to the Reslayer's Take.
Having evaded the Orc Guard, circling back around the outskirts of Josgren's Hollow, Idrin returns to the edge of town to find that his friends are gone. Idrin, make a survival check.
19.
Idrin spots a small rock with a paper cutout of an arrow pointing northward. It's clearly from Frog's journal. As Idrin jogs further northward, he eventually clears the tall, marshy grass and finds his party, with a new companion standing next to a large wooden caravan.
Oh good, Idrin, you made it. This is my old pal Janet. We go way, way back. He's the guy we freed from jail, and he knows tons about the whole whisper thing in the marsh.
Hi, Janet. Nice tattoos.
Oh, thank you very much. Idrin, right?
Yes.
Nice to meet you, Idrin.
Are you all right?
I'm all right. My new ink on the back of my neck is sore. No one has any balm, do they? Or maybe a medicinal leaf or flower.
I've got some cupcakes, if that would make you feel better. By the way, I'm Poogs. I'm Timpani's best friend.
Hello, Poogs. Anyone tried the cupcakes?
Idrin shakes his head very subtly.
Everybody loves them.
Since the word balm was mentioned, Timpani has been hard at work crafting a balm from moss and general nature around the caravan. All right, that's a little bit of this and a pinch of that. Here you go, buddy. Here's your balm.
Oh, thanks, Timpers. Oh, it feels much better already.
Timpers, is that like a nickname that you guys have?
This is exactly like the old days. You getting big crazy tattoos, me putting balm on them, really takes me back.
Oh, so you guys have known each other for a while.
Oh yeah, we go way back. We're old pals. We used to adventure back in the day.
Oh, I thought I was the only one that you adventured with.
No.
Huh.
Poogs' jaw tightens a little bit, but he maintains a facade smile.
It was just before I met you, that's all.
Oh yeah, I get it. Don't worry, it's cool. That's great. I'm so happy that this new person is here to be your best friend also.
I know, I'm so happy that it happened to be you, Janet. I mean, what are the odds?
So what are you guys doing? You guys got a mission or something?
We're the Reslayer's Take.
I'm not married to that name.
Well, I'm not married either.
I am married to that name, but we should probably get inside before we make too much noise. I assume you got some sort of sound dampening situation going on in there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. 32-track recording studio. I'm trying to upgrade it to a 64, but little light in the pockets right now.
The door to the caravan opens. It's about 15 feet long and 20 feet wide, relatively cramped, but there's padding up on each wall. Also, hanging from the wall by various strings, there is a row of translucent light blue stones, positioned at seemingly strategic points within the caravan. Everybody make an Arcana check or a Nature check.
Not 20.
29.
19. 22.
All of you recognize the objects coveted by many musicians in Exandria. A slew of echo stones, capable of recording sound and replaying that sound when squeezed a certain way. The door closes behind you.
So, Janet, why don't you tell us what happened to you, and maybe we can get a bigger picture on what happened.
Oh yeah. Let me bring you up to speed. Well, I was on my way into town, knowing that the potion con is a real money maker for my busking skills. Potion con love my dulcet tones. Anyway, on the road into Josgren's Hollow, I saw a group of travellers wearing Potion con memorabilia, and they got kind of swallowed, I want to say, by a spore-filled fog, rolling with shapes. Oh, it's horrible, it's horrific. Big bulging eyes and gaping mouths. It was strange because, the more they screamed, the more it came after them. And when it lifted, only one remained, but he couldn't hear me when I yelled to him. So I went to the mayor straight away. I think that was my biggest mistake. Wouldn't listen to me. Threw me down in the boom. No trial, nothing. No food, no drink. Pitch black down there. But joke's on them. I figured it out while I was down there using my clairvoyance. I was able to see the beast's lair. I think it originates from a pond in the center of the marsh. I think I still know the way. I can take you guys if you want.
Farah takes in Janet's story and tries to piece together any knowledge that she's had from her past.
Roll a Nature check.
14.
Farah, you know that the Whispering Mouther was once an aberration known as a Gibbering Mouther, and you also know that Gibbering Mouthers are created by dark wizards using many corrupted souls.
Yeah, if the Slayer's Take defeated a Gibbering Mouther, these could be the souls from all the people that they took. And if we're able to find the source of these spores, I think that's our best bet of getting rid of them.
We also figured out that these things hate noise. Janet, do you still have your closet full of fun instruments and stuff in here? I gotta tell you guys, we used to jam it up all the time back in the day.
All the time?
Literally all the time.
It was pretty great, to be honest, yeah.
Oh, that sounds so fun. That sounds like a great time.
Yeah, it was fun. Do you still have those instruments?
Oh yeah, I've got a lot. I mean, guys, to coin a metaphor, pick your weapon.
Mr. Janet, sir.
And she ruffles through her journal.
Do you have a guitar? Is that right, Farah? Guitar?
Yeah, that's right, Frog.
Thank you.
A guitar. Yes, you've come to the right place. I've actually got 7 guitars.
7?
7.
What?
Janet moves to the wall, undoes a cute little lock, and then slides a wood panel out of the way to reveal a wall of all different kinds of instruments. There are indeed 7 beautiful guitars lining the top row.
Janet, do you mind if I take one of these guitars?
Please, be my guest.
Janet hands Frog a fire engine red guitar decorated in golden triangles, each painted to look like intricate flames.
Yeah, I'll just put this strap over your neck, if you don't mind.
Yeah, thank you.
And then here, hold your left hand here.
Here?
Yeah, with it, put your your middle finger there. That's a G.
G.
Yeah, now hit the strings with your right hand.
Right hand.
Frog, make a performance check.
1.
All the strings break.
Oh, Janet, I'm so
As the string breaks, Idrin uses a chronal shift.
All of the strings unbreak as only to Idrin's eyes time seems to rewind. Frog, re-roll your performance check.
10.
A modest G chord plays out.
How was that, Janet?
That was fantastic. G is one of the most popular chords in music. Now, if I could teach you maybe 1 or 2 other chords, you could play probably 400 or 500 songs in popular music.
What?
Janet, as you begin to teach Frog a few different fingerings on the guitar, make an investigation check.
18.
Staring into Frog's eyes, you notice them glowing with a slight blue light. When you peer deeper inside, you cannot see beyond the metal mask of Frog's armor, and you realize this is no armor. Frog seems to be entirely constructed of metal and mechanical parts.
As Janet tries to teach Frog the C major chord, he mentions quietly, just to her, "Oh, Frog, I see you."
Janet, I see you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Idrin walks up to the wall and sees something that looks almost like a trombone.
Janet almost ceremoniously takes the instrument off the wall and hands it to Idrin. This, my friend, is the only sackbut I own. Be very careful with it.
I'll guard it with my life.
Yeah, and if you could place it close to your lips, then it might make a noise. Give it a go.
Okay.
Idrin, make a performance check.
12.
The sackbut emits a rough toot, squeaking slightly.
Janet nods approvingly. Needs a little bit of work, but you know what? You can always improve, my friend.
Farah looks around for a simple instrument that can emit a lot of noise with 0 skill. She finds cymbals.
2 enormous crash cymbals come off the wall.
Is it cool if I take these?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, we need someone to make a thunderous clapping sound so that we can keep the whole band together.
That's the plan. Farah slings the cymbals over her back.
Hira nervously rifles through her pack and pulls out an old gilded horn. It has gold chains adorning it and looks to be a ram's horn. She nervously fidgets with it and says, "This horn, it belonged to my ancestors from Marquette. They used to call down their herds from the mountains by playing into it. I've never tried to play it, but belonged to someone in my family a long time ago."
What an exquisite instrument. I feel like if you're ever gonna play it, now might be the time.
Hira, roll a performance check.
7.
A lackluster tone squeaks out of the horn.
Would you mind if I just take a quick butcher's at your horn? Oh, sorry, that sounds strange. Could I just have a look at that instrument?
She hands her instrument over.
Janet takes the horn, peers inside the wider opening, and sees that there is something slightly blocking in the narrow tip, and pulls out a matted piece of fur. Here you go. That might help. Give it another blow.
Janet passes a bardic inspiration to Hira. Roll a performance check.
13.
A much clearer sounding tone this time.
Thank you for your help.
Of course. Sounds fantastic.
Timpani walks over to the display. Now, I'm not seeing the old bass up there, but did you happen to keep it for me?
Timpus, would I ever let you down? It's actually in the back room. It's been polished recently. Give me a second.
Janet steps behind a partition with several silk garments flopped over it and comes back in holding a large wooden upright bass.
Timpers, I think you remember old Salty. Here you go, mate.
How could I forget? Come here, old salty. Let me give you a spin.
Timpani, roll a performance check.
2.
All the strings break.
Oh, come on! Idrin walks up and casts Mending.
Unperturbed, Timpani takes it for another spin.
Roll another performance check.
17.
and Timpani, fingers moving blisteringly fast, plays a sweet little bass riff.
He finishes it with a big flourish, catches the bass.
It's like riding a bike. I don't know if you guys know a bike. It's kind of a double-wheeled, vehicle.
Yeah, could you describe it more in greater detail as I write it down in my journal?
Oh, sure. I'll get into it on the way. Now, what do you say?
Janet closes up the instrument armory, walks to the door, and opens it.
Let's jam.
The Re-Slayer's Take trudges through the swamps outside of Josgren's Hollow, joined by their new companion, Janet. Each bootstep squelches as the muck sucks at the bottom of your feet, and the air grows more and more foul the further into the marsh you journey. Janet is finishing his description of a bicycle.
And this is an interesting piece of trivia, because I'm a musician. Sometimes they have a bell, and you can ring that bell to tell people, that you're on your way, maybe coming at speed. Also, people at times can attach a small piece of cardboard to the spokes on a wheel, and it can create a kind of clacker, 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 clacker sound.
Ah, yes, very interesting. Clacker, 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 clacker.
That's with a CK.
Hira leans in towards Farah. For the record, I don't think age determines a person's ability to be good at their job. Not exactly sure how old Timpani is, but he cowers in every battle, and you always find a way to employ your vast knowledge and experience.
Thanks. It's just, these last couple battles have been, a little rough, getting back into it, so... Yeah, it's shaking my confidence a little bit, but yeah.
Having learned a new gesture, Hira confidently puts out her fist.
Farah, confused, puts her hand over the fist and shakes.
Hey, Poogs. Idrin walks up to Poogs and puts a hand out.
Yeah?
You can have more than one best friend.
Make a persuasion check.
15.
But doesn't that sort of defeat the whole purpose of a best friend? Because they're your number one friend.
It's not a competition. Best friends are just your favorite people that feel the same way about you.
Huh.
I'll be your best friend too.
So then I'll have two best friends?
You can have as many as you want.
That's a really interesting concept. I didn't even think about that. Hey, Janet.
What's up?
We could be friends.
Of course. What, were you not friends with me at some point? What did I do? Have I upset you? I am sorry if I did something to offend you.
No, it's not that you offended. Sometimes we just like to confirm friendships,
Oh, yeah, we can be friends. Here, give me some of that. Janet puts out his huge fist. Oh, I'm sorry. This might not be a custom for you. You clench your fist.
Uh-huh.
And then put your fist next to mine. In solidarity.
Okay, nice. I was a little confused because that is a goblin challenge to fight to the death, but okay, cool. Recontextualizing. Got it.
Everybody make either a perception or survival check.
20.
12.
15.
21.
9.
14.
The marsh begins to smell mustier, and spores floating freely of their own accord are spotted in the sky above. A will-o'-wisper is spotted, chaotically flying within these spore gatherings without direction. A hush falls over the group, waiting for the will-o'-wisper to pass, and then the group continues forward. Frog, journeying a little bit ahead, notices that there is a clearing veering off a bit to the left. Moving some of the tall grass aside, Frog, you find a circle of stone set into the muddy ground in this small clearing, a strange pedestal-like altar. There are symbols inscribed around the stone, as well as what seems like sharp teeth littered around its base. There is dark mold everywhere. Frog, when you look a little closer, you start to see drag marks all along the ground, much fresher than the rest of the remnants in this clearing. And when you peer around these drag marks, you find a clear bottle of bright blue liquid.
Potion con.
Farah takes a closer look at these symbols, which are written in an abyssal language that she speaks.
Where there are many weak, we make one almighty. Here we forge our great beast, to sunder those who would seek to stop us.
Gulp.
Farah, what is this place?
It's essentially the ritual site where they created the gibbering mouther.
So not the ghost, just what the ghost used to be?
Essentially, yeah.
And Timpani, look, that's the Slayer's Take symbol.
Yeah, they love graffito tagging stuff right after they kill it. It's a classic Slayer's Take move. I've seen it 100 times.
What a bunch of buttheads.
Yeah, a bunch of bozos graffito tagging stuff right after they kill it.
Well, I mean, it adds up with the Slayer's Take timeline, so they were here about 50 years ago.
And if you look close, it seems like there are tracks of where maybe the victims of the fog cloud were taken. I can see a leftover potion from what would have been Potion Con. So maybe they're still alive.
Fair takes the potion to see if it might be useful.
Make an Arcana check.
21.
You've seen these before in high-end shops. A filter of flying.
That's a pretty useful potion. Let's hang on to that.
Okay.
Frog pockets it gingerly into her knapsack.
Everyone takes a moment to steel themselves, and the party heads deeper into the heart of the marsh.
As they're headed there, Idrin will take a moment to inform Janet of what they've learned about these willow whispers, including what they're immune to and their resistances.
Oh. Well, in that case, gang, let's bring the thunder.
The smell has become just about unbearable now, and the party parts more tall grass, finally having reached their destination, to reveal a stagnant, bubbling inlet to the rest of the marsh. In the middle of this pond-like inlet, at the end of a long, decrepit dock, is what looks like a great big cargo boat with printed sails that read, "Welcome to Potion Con." The boat is tipped at a strange angle, lifted slightly out of the water by an amalgam of fungi protruding from the water, great big blobs of mold and mushroom. Penning the boat in, on either side and at the front and back, are 4 especially large black puffball mushrooms, easily 10 feet in diameter. They belch spores out of many orifices, which float up to join a hovering swarm of amorphous spores twisting over the water. The whispers are quite loud now, sending shivers through our party. Everybody make a perception check.
22.
4.
16.
18.
8.
14.
Frog, you're the one who notices and points out that the spores gathered above the boat seem to move in perfect synchronicity, and massive eyes, as well as enormous gaping mouths, form almost perfectly shaped in the spory fog. Having followed the drag marks to this location, you are positive that this concentration of fungus is the main creature that you are seeking out, the Whispering Mouther. Farah, you are the one who sees him, the werebore from town, Igor, stuck to the mast of this great ship, encased on all sides by dark gray goo, and several other shapes seem to be gathered at the base of the mast. These other figures, unmoving, are also stuck to the great wooden mizzen, and it looks to be about 11 or 12 folks. You cannot tell from this distance if they are still alive.
Yeah, I can't tell if they're alive. Should we move closer to the mushrooms?
Oh, I should let you guys know. I'm allergic to nightshades, so I should probably keep my distance. Also, I'm not a big fan of water, so I'll stay back and kind of assist. I don't want to come across as like a coward or anything. It's just mushrooms bring me out in a rash.
Farah takes a closer look at the mushrooms.
Roll a nature check.
23.
The mushrooms don't appear particularly hardy, seeming very delicate for their size, almost like if you put your hand through one, it would collapse. Every time it belches spores into the air, those spores are collected by the Whispering Mouther floating above the ship. You glean that it might be possible that these mushrooms are repairing any damage done to the apparition's form, as long as it's within range. Before your very eyes, you see some of the spores reach the Whispering Mouther, not really finding a place to settle within, since the creature seems completely full of mushrooms, and those spores spin off, swirling together until they become another willow whisper.
We're gonna need to take out these mushrooms before dealing with the whispers, but they're pretty delicate.
Janet approaches the group. Guys, I'm not that gifted a fighter, but I can give you inspiration to be better in the fight. And with that in mind, stick your fist right in the middle here. And if I might say, as you are withdrawing your fist, just whisper the word boom. Ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Boom.
Frog, Hera, and Farah gain inspiration from Janet's fist bump. And now for a brief intermission.
Creating really great retail experiences is tough, especially with multiple stores, teams of staff, fulfillment centers, separate workflows. It's a lot. But with Shopify Point of Sale, you can do it all without complexity.
Shopify's point of sale system is a unified command center for your retail business. It brings together in-store and online operations, even across 1,000 locations.
Imagine being able to guarantee that shopping is always convenient. Endless aisle, ship to customer, buy online, pick up in stores, all made simpler so customers can shop how and where they want and staff have the tools they need to close the sale every time.
And let's face it, acquiring new customers is expensive. With Shopify POS, you can keep existing shoppers coming back to your stores with consistent, tailored experiences and first-party data that give marketing teams a competitive edge.
Want more?
Yeah!
Check it out at shopify.com/r/ all lowercase and learn how to create the best retail experiences without complexity.
That's shopify.com/r/.
Cha-ching!
With the planning, recording, and editing that go into the Reslayer's Take, Nick and I aren't left with a lot of time for exercise.
Luckily, our sponsor, Tonal, has helped us use the time we actually have to create personalized workouts just for us. Tonal learns from your movement and provides suggested weight recommendations for every move, and they even give you detailed reports on your progress.
They create personalized programs and workout suggestions based on your individual goals. Like me, I want the rogue-like agility to backflip over dungeon traps.
And I want the berserker strength to hold a heavy door up for my friends so they can escape the undead hordes thanks to my heroic sacrifice. With Tonal, you can do it all. It's like having a personal trainer at home with you.
Unlike traditional gym equipment, Tonal uses adaptive digital weight to advance your training techniques.
Whether you're a professional athlete or a cake-loving dungeon master like us, Tonal can be trusted to help you become your strongest, most fit self.
Right now, Tonal is offering our listeners $200 off your Tonal purchase with promo code RESLAYER. That's Tonal.com and use promo code RESLAYER for $200 off your purchase.
Tonal.com, promo code RESLAYER for $200 off.
Let's roll those athletics checks. What's up, everybody? It's George from the Reslayer's Take. Hey, do you remember that feeling of your first critical hit? Or are you one of those people who are getting ready to start their first journey? I have a show for you. It's called Girls Who Don't D&D, because none of this all-female team of players had ever joined a D&D game before, or any other role-playing game. They go from learning which dice is what to challenging the gods themselves. They are surrounded by a beautiful and chaotic environment that has been described as a cross between Terry Pratchett's Discworld and Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and it's a world you can be a part of too. That's because their listeners perform pre-recorded sections that fit into each show. How cool is that? Those parts and the rest of the show sound amazing, with carefully added music and effects that bring a touch of the cinematic to your experience. I think the most amazing thing is that they were complete amateurs when they started, and you should really hear how far they've come. It really does make you feel like you're sitting at the table with them. You can join this group of unassuming Australians, otherwise known as the Girls Who Don't D&D, on any device that lets you stream podcasts. But I'm warning you, this one is addictive, heartwarming, and heartbreaking, and very, very funny. And I hope you enjoy. Bye-bye! Now back to the show.
All right, everyone, pick a mushroom. Go for it. Move as quietly as you can. But I think we need to be ready to make a lot of noise if things go sideways.
Since you and I are heading up the vanguard, if we see something go awry, I can blow my horn as a warning.
Timpani unslings his massive upright base from his back. If things go sideways, the three of us are gonna make as much noise as possible.
Farah quickly grabs the cotton from before and plugs her ears.
All right, here, you take the one on the far left. Frog, if you can swim over to the one way out there. I'm gonna get to the shore and see if I can take aim at the middle one and the one on the far right.
Farah carefully walks over to the shore.
Roll a stealth check.
3.
Farah takes one step out of the tall grass and snaps a twig loudly in the clearing. All of the willow whispers seem to twitch for a moment. They begin to zigzag in the air frantically, and the low ambient whispering crescendos just a bit.
Farah freezes and turns to her friend.
I don't think this is gonna happen for me. I'm gonna be really honest. I'm just gonna take aim from here, so you guys move on.
Farah holds her crossbow, aiming at the mushroom, and will hold her action until Hira and Frog are ready.
A glowing spectral bolt forms in the chamber of the crossbow.
Frog takes a deep breath, channeling her ki, imagining her body is as light as the air. Like the wind, Frog moves towards the water to dive in.
Frog enters the water. There is a light splash. All of the willow whispers and the whispering mouther begin to roil more furiously, surprised by these adventurers encroaching in its open lair.
Hearing the sound, Hira quickly jams her own cotton back into her ears, puts the hilt of her rapier in her mouth, and begins to spider climb along the bottom of the dock.
Make an acrobatics check.
22.
And now make a stealth check.
27.
Using the distraction of Frog's splash, which several of the willow whispers move over to investigate, Hira, unnoticed, gets under the dock, climbing underneath it, closer and closer to the boat.
Idrin nervously holds up his sack butt and prepares to either sound the horn or throw a firebolt at the remaining mushroom, depending on what the outcome is.
Farah waits until she sees her friends in position. She counts down to herself.
3, 2, 1.
She fires at the closest mushroom.
Roll an attack.
11.
Hit. Roll damage.
6 damage.
The puffball mushroom seems to cave in at the point of the spectral bolt.
Farah takes aim again. 19.
Hit. Roll damage.
7 damage.
The puffball deflates even further, belching more spores up into the air. The mushrooms appear partially constructed of viscous spectral goo.
Seeing the spectral bolt go off, Hira rapidly continues her climb to finish off the creature, striking out with her rapier.
Take your attack from underneath the dock.
20.
Hit. Roll damage.
22.
Hira bisects the mushroom. It slides off of itself, splashing into the water, and the other mushrooms belch even more spores, as if in a reaction of pain.
Under the water, Frog swims as swiftly as she can, her intention to take out one of these mushrooms in one fell swoop.
Roll your attacks.
18. 20.
2 hits. Roll damage.
13 damage.
From above the water, everyone sees the puffball at the front of the boat shudder twice as Frog, beneath the surface, lays into it over and over again.
Frog strikes out once more against this mushroom.
Roll an attack.
24.
Roll damage.
6 damage.
A second mushroom falls underneath the water. The whispering mouther seems to shriek above the water as its sources of health begin to disappear.
Idrin steps out and throws a firebolt at the nearest puffball mushroom.
Roll your attack.
17.
Hit. Roll damage.
9 points of fire damage.
This mushroom gets seared, many of the spores evaporating as the fire impacts. And then Idrin, Janet, begins to walk past you, out towards the dock.
Janet breaks cover, puts his hand in his pocket, and pulls out a sash of silky material. He then wraps it around the back of his head, blindfolding himself, and gets himself in a perfect position on the dock, puts his fingers out into space as if he's playing a huge keyboard in front of him.
And as his fingers move, music begins to fill the swampy inlet. The willow whispers, twisting and turning to find the source of the noise, shoot towards him as fast as they can. 2 of them are able to make it right to him. While Janet is playing, The will-o'-whispers extend spectral tendrils, creating 2 massive necrotic burns on either arm.
Oh, my arms! My arms!
Janet takes a total of 11 points of necrotic damage, bringing him down to 46 points of health. The other 2 will-o'-whispers quickly begin to flit around the edges of the boat, looking for the source of what is taking the mushrooms down, but they are unable to penetrate the surface of the water, and therefore do not find Frog.
Hearing Janet's cries of pain behind her, Hira swings up on top of the dock and strikes at the Whispering Mouther, having faith that her friends will take out the other 2 mushrooms.
The lowest part of the cloud is just barely reachable for Hira. Roll an attack with advantage as you come out of your stealthy position.
18.
Hit. Roll damage.
31.
Hira stabs the rapier directly center mass of the Whispering Mouther, but the spores seem to swerve out of the way, resisting the worst of this damage. It only takes 15 points of piercing damage.
Using her bonus action, Hira then points her spectral rapier in Frog's direction and blinks in and out of existence onto Frog's back.
Hira is basically sitting on the surface of the water, her legs wrapped around Frog's shoulders, still submerged.
Idrin shouts,
Hey Janet, do you like light shows?
Idrin casts Fairy Fire at the Whispering Mouther.
The Whispering Mouther fails the saving throw. The Whispering Mouther, now illuminated, starts to flash colors all across the swamp, like a giant disco ball of doom. All attacks against the Whispering Mouther will be made with advantage. However, the Whispering Mouther, seemingly furious as the eyes and mouths roil even more consistently through its form, shoots towards Hira, sitting on the surface of the water. A long spectral tendril extends towards her malevolently. It's a glancing blow. Hira takes 13 points of necrotic damage.
Hira is going to use her reaction to uncannily dodge out of the way, leaning back on Frog's shoulders.
She reduces this damage in half to 6 points of necrotic damage. However, as that spectral tendril recedes back into the Whispering Mouther, the fungus gathers around it, creating a condensed ball of poison, and that engulfs Hira. Make a Constitution saving throw.
18.
Success. Hira avoids the worst of this, but still takes another 9 points of poison damage. She is brought down to 23 points of health.
Grooving and moving his hips around, Janet looks up towards the skies and screams, I'm feeling the music, guys, I'm feeling it! And sends a shattering spell towards the 2 mushrooms and one of the will-o'-whispers.
Roll your damage.
23 points of thunder damage.
Both of the mushrooms within the range explode, completely destroyed, and the will-o'-whisper seems to be drawn into the shatter spell's point of origin, exploding with the ensuing shockwave. All of the mushrooms, meant to regenerate the Whispering Mouther's health, are completely destroyed. At this loud sound, the Whispering Mouther seems to condense, growing smaller but thicker, and the whispering becomes almost deafening. The cotton in your ears is not enough to stem the psychic flow.
Farrah concentrates on her crossbow for a second, and suddenly her weapon sheds a bright light out to 20 feet. Farrah takes aim at the Whispering Mouther and shoots twice.
Roll attacks with advantage as the fairy fire guides your bolts.
Nat 20. 17.
1 hit, 1 crit. Roll damage.
20 piercing damage, 5 radiant damage.
The first bolt slams into the creature's center mass and is lodged in invisible goo. The second bolt impacts into the first one, and there is a small implosion. Frog, even below the surface of the water, the whispering is deafening. Make a wisdom saving throw.
7.
Frog, you suddenly freeze, unable to hear anything except whispering. You become deeply confused. All of these voices screaming in your ears, some of them yelling commands, some of them pleading for help, some of them just screaming. You are incapacitated.
Timpani steps out from the grass, still dragging Old Salty, and yells to Janet, "Those are some tasty licks, Janet!" and casts Healing Word. Janet recovers 7 health points,
bringing him up to 53 points of health. Timpani, you watch Poogs explode out from the tree line, holding a rope in his hand.
I'm coming, Janet.
Throws the rope over Janet, tightens it,
Don't worry, I won't let that thing take you away. Keep jamming.
and wraps it around his arm. The two will-o-wisps on either side of Janet continue to try to sap his strength with necrotizing tendrils. Janet twists out of the way as he hits the high end of his spectral keys, dodging one of them, but the other hits, dealing him 5 points of necrotic damage, bringing him down to 48 points of health. Another will-o-wisp at the edge of the Whispering Mouther shoots itself into the center mass of the creature, destroying its own existence to allow the Whispering Mouther to recover 20 hit points. Hira, make a wisdom saving throw as you face off directly with the Whispering Mouther.
15.
Success. You stuff the cotton in just a little deeper to resist the psychic blasting for now.
Hira nervously taps at Frog, realizing that Frog has ceased to move, and then strikes again with her rapier at the Whispering Mouther.
Roll your attack with advantage.
16.
Just barely a hit. Roll damage.
20.
You feel your rapier find purchase on the more condensed Whispering Mouther.
As Hira's blade flashes with the spectral light as it makes contact with the Whispering Mouther, she points it to the mast where Igor is and Misty steps towards him.
Getting all the way up to the mast, you see Igor, still conscious, completely encased in goo as you grab onto a wooden peg.
Hira hastily takes the remaining freedom of movement filter and jams it into Igor's mouth.
As Hira peels away some of the fungus to jam the potion in Igor's mouth, he tips his head back, drinking it, and then slides out of the goo, falling 10 feet back down to the deck.
All right, time to kick this.
He takes 1 point of bludgeoning damage, knocking him unconscious.
Idrin starts charging even closer to Janet to fight beside their companion and throws a firebolt at one of the will-o-wisps next to him.
Roll an attack.
17.
Hit. Roll damage.
17 points of fire damage.
This will-o-wisp is engulfed in fire and weakly tries to find its flying footing once again. The Whispering Mouther, with much more speed than it possessed previously, now that it has condensed in order to more efficiently move, shoots towards Janet. As it encroaches on Janet, getting within 20 feet of him, his awesome music becomes silenced by whispers. A large spectral tendril attempts to wrap itself around Janet's neck. Janet takes 26 necrotic damage, bringing him down to 22 points of health. But the thing does not stop there. It engulfs Janet, who will now make a Constitution saving throw.
6.
Janet takes an additional 28 points of poison damage, dropping unconscious onto the deck. Poogs tries to shout out for help, but his cries are silenced. Janet, make a death saving throw.
15.
One success. Poogs begins to try to drag Janet out of the poison, suffocating him.
So heavy.
Farrah takes aim at the wounded will-o-wisp. 12. 13.
2 misses. The will-o-wisp shifts between the flying spectral bolts as they phase uselessly through the dock's floor. Frog, underneath the water, you begin to swing wildly as your senses are overwhelmed. Make a wisdom saving throw.
16.
As you shake your head underneath the water, you're able to free yourself from the whisper's influence and notice that Hira is gone from your shoulders and the Whispering Mouther has moved away from you.
Having regained her faculties, Frog shoots up out of the water and takes a deep breath, which she is imitating the sound of because she does not need to breathe.
You see Janet surrounded by spore clouds on the dock as Poogs uselessly tries to pull him to safety.
Frog swims towards the dock and jumps up. She stands over Janet and takes a wide stance as she strikes out at the weakened will-o-wisp. 16.
Miss.
She strikes again. 9.
Another miss. The will-o-wisp circles around Frog's punching fists.
Frog steadies herself and channels her ki once more to make 2 more strikes. 10.
Another miss.
11.
4 misses. Frog starts getting lost in the fungal spores that converge on her and Janet.
still shaken by the deafening whispers still overwhelming her senses. Poogs attempts to yell out to Frog.
Frog! Get out of there! Frog!
But she does not notice. The whispering mouther looms large above Frog.
Timpani shouts out to Janet, "Hang in there, buddy!" and casts Healing Word.
Although Janet cannot hear Timpani, the healing magic pierces through the whispering aura and restores him. He regains 12 hit points, bringing him up to 12 points of health. Poogs, giving it all of his effort, drags Janet, who is slowly regaining consciousness, out of the whispering aura, leaving Frog alone.
Janet, are you okay?
Oh, what happened? Am I still playing music?
You're not playing music anymore, no, but it might be a really good idea to start. Let me get you up.
Poogs helps Janet to his feet. Both of the will-o'-whispers swirling around the whispering mouther, both reach their spectral tendrils towards Frog. Frog is deft enough to make one of the attacks miss, but the other one hits her firmly in the chest for a critical hit. Frog takes 6 points of necrotic damage, bringing her down to 37 points of health. And then the will-o'-whispers disappear 5 feet backwards into the whispering mouther's form, causing it to regain 40 points of health. The whispering mouther now appears completely unscathed.
Hera leaps down from the mast, seeing that the situation is getting dire, does a roll, and quickly tries to strike out at the whispering mouther.
As you enter the radius of the loudest of the whispers, make a wisdom saving throw.
12.
Success.
Hera pushes down the sounds of the maddening whispering and instead focuses on her friends. The silver rapier hilt shines in her hand once more.
Roll your attack with advantage.
20.
Hit. Roll damage.
17.
The whispering mouther shrieks, interrupting a bit of the whispering for a moment before it resumes.
Using her bonus action, once again, Hera is going to point her rapier away from the mouther and dart back to safety, towards Janet.
Idrin retreats away from the whispering mouther, throwing both arms in its direction, casting lightning bolt.
The whispering mouther fails the dexterity saving throw.
39 points of lightning damage.
The whispering mouther, condensed into an angry ball, is no longer resistant to the lightning bolt, taking every bit of this damage. After the whispering mouther stops reeling from this lightning blast, it begins to expand a bit more, now that the loud noise has receded, regaining its resistances. It reaches a massive spectral tendril towards Frog. Frog takes 14 points of necrotic damage, bringing her down to 23 points of health.
Janet gets to his feet, extremely labored, taking deep breaths. He composes himself, reaches his hands out again into thin air, and starts to play an amazing song whilst casting Shatter towards the Whispering Mouther.
The Whispering Mouther fails the saving throw.
16 thunder damage.
Doubled to 32 points of damage. Once again, the Whispering Mouther condenses as that loud noise shocks it into submission.
In your face, you filthy animal.
The spores are now whipping around the center mass of this creature in a rapid fashion, as it is clearly in some kind of panic.
Farah tries to take advantage of its panic and shoots twice.
Roll your attacks with advantage.
16,
Hit.
16.
2 hits.
5 piercing damage, 7 radiant damage, for a total of 13 damage.
As each bolt slams into it, a massive eye forms on the front of it, the pupil of which seems to focus on the thing closest to it, Frog. Make a wisdom saving throw.
Natural 1.
Frog wavers before she can start punching the thing. Her blue eyes flicker, and she pitches off the side of the dock, splashing into the water.
Timpani, desperate to help his friends, reaches into his back pocket with both hands, pulls out 2 large dandelion flowers, and blows on them both, sending glowing dandelion stalks through the air towards Idrin, Janet, and Hera, casting Mass Cure Wounds.
Everyone recovers 18 points of health. Hera is brought to her maximum HP of 38. Idrin, uninjured, is unaffected. And Janet also recovers 18 points of health, bringing him up to 30.
Inspired by the healing imparted to her by Timpani, Hera rushes towards the Whispering Mouther.
Make a wisdom saving throw as the psychic whispers get louder.
15.
That is enough. Hera makes her way to the Whispering Mouther. Roll your attack with advantage.
27.
Hit. Roll damage.
19.
The rapier pierces this thing's great fungal eye, which disperses into more spores. And for the first time, you see the spectral, invisible, gooey center of this thing becoming tangible and dripping onto the dock. There's a shriek that goes through the air.
Come on, Reslayers, we got it on the ropes!
Idrin steels himself and decides to put everything he has into one last cast of Lightning Bolt.
The condensed creature, after that massive shatter spell, is not ready to resist it. It fails its saving throw.
36 points of lightning damage.
How do you want to do this?
Idrin puts his hand forward facing this Whispering Mouther and remembers the gesture that he saw Janet make, with his 2 middle fingers in and his 2 end fingers out. And he raises them towards the Whispering Mouther and shouts, "Rock and roll!"
The spores lose their form, floating in the air for a moment before the breeze carries them away.
Now that was metal.
And all is quiet. But something else remains. A few glowing motes of light. First bright white, and then settling into a dim, flickering green. These motes shoot towards Idrin, Hera, Frog within the water, and Farah at the grass's edge. And right when it seems they're going to make direct impact with you, they stop and, dissolving, seem to take refuge within your weapons and artifacts. And those weapons hum gently as more power settles within them.
Frog slowly surfaces and makes her way to shore, visibly shaken by the ordeal that she just went through in that battle. And she sits on solid ground.
Idrin sees Frog and sprints over into a leaping hug. "Are you okay?"
It was really scary. Everyone was yelling at me.
"But we made it."
Did you? I don't even... Is it over?
"It's over." Idrin goes in for a big hug around Frog's head and then just hugs her tightly.
Frog hugs back.
I didn't even think about my journal. It's always so wet.
Hera sheathes her now inert weapon and walks confidently over to Janet and says, "As someone who is used to going unseen, seeing someone make a spectacle of themselves is really something.
Oh, thank you very much.
You really put on a show out there. I think without you drawing their ire, we would have surely perished this day." And then leaning in to Farah says, "Oh, by the way, I think I may have killed Igor from the Slayer's tank. I dropped him on his head quite by accident."
Farah, noticing that Hera's talking to her, takes the cotton out of her ears. What? Guys, these things really worked.
Poogs, who has gone to the boat to investigate, excitedly shouts out,
Guys, they're all alive. I can't believe it, but they're all here. There's potion masters from Potion Con, and Igor is still breathing, yes? And I think these are the Tabaxi's friends. Oh, you guys look hungry, huh?
Timpani bounds across the dock to the boat and begins healing the group as soon as he gets there.
As Timpani bounds past Hera, she gently whispers to him, "Please don't tell the big one I dropped him on his head."
Oh, you got it. That would not go well.
Exhausted, battered, and covered in grime, the Re-Slayers finally make their way through the marsh back to Josgren's Hollow. Upon their return, a slew of citizens begin tentatively stepping out into the street. Hera, Farah, you see Delphine, curiously looking out the door.
Did you do it?
To answer her question, Hera pulls out her horn, knowing that finally, the town of Josgren's Hollow will know music and laughter again.
Delphine's father appears behind her.
Everyone! Everyone, come out! They did it!
More doors begin to open, including the comptroller's office, where Von Josgren Jr. carefully pokes his head out. And slowly, there's an applause that grows from one person clapping. Delphine, then her father, and then the rest of the citizens of Josgren's Hollow.
Excuse me, everyone. I would like to take credit for this incredible achievement. Yes, I, Von Josgren Jr., hired this amazing band of adventurers to free our town and restore PotionCon to its former glory. Oh, yes. Congratulations, everyone. I did it. And in my comptrollery benevolence, I have decided to forgive our disruptive busker friend. His jail sentence has been commuted. You are welcome, sir.
Janet steps forward as if he is about to shake hands and instead flicks him on his forehead.
Put her there. Oh! Ow! Hey!
Farah, taking advantage of Josgren's lack of attention, goes into his house and searches for money.
Hira strides towards Delphine and, taking her by the hand, walks back into the center of this crowd. I think you owe not just this child, but all of the children of this town a better life. And that man, that sad grub of a man, has only led you astray. You owe it to yourselves as well as future generations to have leadership that is representative of your voice and that is going to do right by you, especially if they're taking so much of your money. But you know, that's none of my business. I don't vote here. Do with that information what you will, but his home is rather unlocked right now. And I hear there is an election coming up.
Hira, roll a persuasion check with advantage.
21.
Now see here, miss. I deserve my post. I have done up.
Delphine's father walks forward and knocks the mayor out cold.
Everyone, it's time to take our town back. Janet, I'm sorry we all judged you. We shouldn't have believed Josgren.
Oh, that's all right. You know, I kind of look like a bit of a ne'er-do-well, to be honest.
Don't you dare say that about yourself. Hey, I say we add another tick to the ballot. If you'd stay.
Oh, I'll stay. But only if you guys play a song with me. What do you think?
As everybody readies themselves to play, Farah walks out holding bags of gold. Farah has found 450 gold pieces in Comptroller Josgren's back safe and a large potion with a golden hue to it, labeled Dr. Fitzwaggle's all-purpose pheromone.
Farah takes the gold and spreads it around the town, making sure that all the citizens have an equal amount, and then drops a generous amount of gold at Janet's feet.
I see you got one of my patented all-purpose pheromones there.
Yeah, I guess I do. What does it do?
All you gotta do is throw that there bottle at anyone giving you trouble, and the fauna around wherever you are will come a-running.
Yeah, this will come in handy. Thanks for the explanation.
You're welcome, Dr. Fitzwaggle.
Frog looks to Idrin and quietly slips her hand into his.
Thank you so much for helping me.
That's what best friends do.
Timpani puts a big hand on Poog's shoulder and walks him a little bit away from the group. Hey, I just wanted to tell you, because I don't tell you enough. You're my number one guy, Poogs. And to prove my appreciation, I swiped a little something from Janet's caravan.
Oh, you didn't have to do that.
Timpani reaches into his back pants pocket and pulls out a harmonica and hands it to Poogs.
What is this?
It's this great instrument. You can put it up to your brand new chompers and make great tunes. We can play together just like Janet and I used to in the old days.
Timpani, it's the best present anybody's ever got me.
Poogs hugs Timpani around the middle.
Oh, you got it, pal. And hey, don't listen to the others. Your salty cupcakes are the best dang treat in the world.
I knew it. Hey, Janet.
Yeah, what is it, little man?
I'm ready to jam.
Oh, great, let's do it. Follow my lead. Ready, everyone? A 1, 2, 3, 4.
After a hearty and joyous celebration, the party winds down, and the Re-Slayers take, after saying their fond farewells to Janet, Delphine, and Delphine's father, descend the wooden steps of Josgren's Hollow back to the path from whence they came.
Hey, hold up for a second there.
I said it was an accident.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that. I get dropped all the time. Pretty much by every adventuring party I'm with. I just wanted to tell y'all that I promise that what you did today won't go unnoticed by me, and I will pass on your kind actions to Mr. Heldwell. I don't want to bring any of y'all any more trouble.
Thanks, Igor.
If it were up to me, you'd be in the Slayer's Take right away, because you dismantled that cloud faster than I ever seen any Take member do it.
Well, the Re-Slayers Take don't take any funny business.
You're calling yourselves the Re-Slayer's Take?
Yes, someone has to do it.
And you're married to that? Yes, we are.
Suddenly, there is a flapping of wings, and a large seagull slams onto Timpani's shoulder.
Oh, hey there, little fellow. Hot diggity dang, we got ourselves another lead.
Should we go back to the apartment and get ready?
Please, not the apartment. Please.
I think we have enough money to visit a shop.
Well, hey, there's plenty of great shops right next to my apartment. Come on!
No!
A few days later, Josgren's Hollow is absolutely packed with potion connoisseurs in one of the most successful potion cons in the town's storied history. As each vendor joyfully doles out vials of colorful liquid, a group of heavily armed adventurers strolls through the market, looking deeply confused. Leading the pack is a human fellow, a prudish knight with shiny clean plate armor and a well-manicured mustache curled under his nose. Trailing behind him is his doting halfling squire, carrying a truly massive backpack. Bringing up the rear is an elvish woman with long flowing hair and robes and a vacant expression, and a hulking, muscular Goliath with a great axe resting lazily over both shoulders. Each of them bears the same symbol, the outline of a long-fingered, lime green hand on a black background.
I don't understand, Maurice. I thought this town had called for aid from a dire spectral threat.
They did. I don't get it. There were all these stories about whispers and haunting apparitions. It's fishier than a Kuo-Toa fishmonger.
Well, it seems those other adventurers got here first. They have been ahead of you at every turn, Gawain.
Euphemia, your wise words hurt me. But you're right, this could be a very serious problem.
Why is that?
Oh, Maurice, use your tiny little head, please. If we, the Chosen Ones, go to a town we are called to, and the problem is already solved before we are arrived... Euphemia, could you maybe help me out here?
Existence is a prison.
No. What I was going to say is, then what kind of Chosen Ones are we?
Oh.
Drunk Stonefist sees no problem there. In fact, there is no problem he cannot solve with his axe!
Quiet! The second you opened your mouth, I knew it was going to be useless, what you just said. It's always your axe with you.
It is a good axe.
It's then that the new comptroller strolls up to them.
Afternoon, guys. Need anything?
Shh. Yes, actually. We're looking for a group that might have passed through here earlier.
Yeah, for adventurers like us.
No. Doesn't ring a bell.
Are you sure, Mr. Comptroller Janet?
What's the problem?
No, nothing, sir. I'm sorry. We'll be on our way.
I think that's best.
Come along, everyone.
Does anyone else think that is an unusual name?
Yeah, what kind of name is Comptroller?
These adventurers begin to leave Josgren's Hollow, passing a statue that is currently under construction. The finishing touches have yet to be put on it, but the outlines of Hera, Idrin, Frog, and Farah are beginning to take shape.
Yes. I think this is going to be a very serious problem.
Three Slayers Take is a Meta Pigeon production in partnership with and distributed by Critical Role Productions, developed in association with Hero Club. Game mastered and produced by George Primavera and Nick Williams. Featuring Nick Williams as Timpani Guff, George Primavera as Poogs, Jasmine Bhullar as Hira Agniheart, Jasmine Chiong as Farah, Jasper Cartwright as Idrin Shadowstep, and Caroline Lux as Frog. With special guest Dominic Monaghan as Janet. Also featuring Travis Willingham as Comptroller Josgren, Liam O'Brien as Delphine's father, Rebecca Meyer as Delphine, Dylan McCollum as Gavain, Marty Abbey Schneider as Maurice, Lilia Symington as Euphemia, and Gabe Greenspan as Dronk Stonefist. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.